Good afternoon from Bali, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I thought I would talk to you once again about the power of thoughts and remembering that our thoughts also lead to our Shakti powers. So, bringing it back to understanding Shakti powers, but focusing on our thoughts. And I know that for years now, I have been helping people with the clients that I speak with regularly, and friends too, about the power of our thoughts. And I know that I've often used the example with people of, that if you think of sending love to the plant that you're growing. So if it's a flower, or if it's a herb, right now I'm growing some basil and some tomatoes, and I can say that I send them love, and I can't believe that how quickly they're growing in such a short time. So loving that, and of course I love gardening. So I'm aware of the power of our energy, our thoughts, our feelings that we share with plants for sure. And of course I'm aware of the same energy of our thoughts, our words, and our actions, and especially thoughts that I want to focus on today towards people. And this I thought was really useful for me to actually share a few quotations that might help you understand this too, because there's so many different minds that talk about this, and certainly the Vedas do too. It's about where our thoughts are, and certainly we can see that if I'm thinking something, it will bring on a feeling about what I'm thinking about, and then my words will reflect what I've been thinking, and then eventually my actions will definitely reflect what I've been speaking. And whether I'm speaking to myself or anyone else, this is the process of our existence, of how we can manifest things from the unmanifest form. So this quotation I thought was quite useful, and this quotation is by Randy Gage. It says, "All matter is quantified thought, manifested by the thoughts you give precedence to. It is your dominant thoughts that determine your destiny." Your dominant thoughts that determine your destiny. Now, we remember that if we can affect a plant by our dominant thoughts towards it, even if it's only once a day, our dominant thoughts in the day, if we're mindfully aware of where we are, what we're thinking, it's such a useful skill to have, to understand what we're doing, what we're creating in terms of the health of ourselves, mentally and physically. This creates an effect. What is the effect that's created on their surroundings? Our surroundings are affected by our thoughts, and certainly our words too. So again, I might speak lovingly, only a simple hello and how are you to my plants, but I love doing that with people too. And of course it's the work that I do, so I really enjoy that interaction with people. Now, sometimes people are working alone, some people are working in groups, and we think things. We might be aware of what we're thinking, and most often people are not. It's more about, I gotta finish this. So that's one of the things that, I'm so caught up in what I'm doing that I'm not really even aware of what anyone else is doing. And oftentimes we will convince ourselves that, well, that allows me to finish. It allows me to finish this work. But oftentimes we've got into the multitasking aspect. So people are finishing work, whatever the work is, but thoughts are constantly going on. Thoughts are always going to be happening in the background. So people could be cooking a meal for a family and thinking about, oh, what happened yesterday, or what I've still got to do, or I'm upset about this. And again, the mind has a tendency to focus on things that are not quite right. And when we're aware that the mind is thinking that way, we can actually shift our mind into thinking something that feels right. And the feelings that our thoughts bring us actually have a huge benefit. So if I'm thinking, the easiest thing that we can all be aware of, and I'll plant the seed for your thought, is that if I'm thinking anything and it doesn't make me feel good, it's not the thought to focus on. Now, sometimes we have to deal with something that doesn't feel so good. So a family member is not ill, or you're missing someone, or there's a financial strain of some sort, or there's a work-related concern. And so the mind is about that. It's thinking about that, and more times than not, it's not actually figuring out anything. It's just replaying and replaying and replaying that, oh, I'm so worried, I don't know how this will get resolved, and this is only getting not good, less good, that sort of idea. And you might be using different words, and you know that I think words actually make a big difference in our minds. And then our experience. So things are not good. What is good about the situation? Even the situation that you're thinking of right now, what is good about this? It's allowing me to be more creative in how I handle this. It's allowing me, this is an opportunity for me. So rather than this is happening to me, this is happening for me. And that sort of thinking really helps bring health to ourselves, to our minds, our bodies, and the energy that we spread around us. So the energy that we're carrying constantly, whether we speak anything or not, if we're aware of our thoughts, that's a powerful energy we're putting out. And whether we're affecting a workplace or a family or a relationship, it is there. And for this awareness to really hit home for you, I'd love for you to think about how your thoughts can affect your plants. So in that, if we can know that it can affect our plants as well, we're so well trained in this these days. We already know this for so many years that, wow, speaking with love to something that you're helping grow really does help it grow. Do you speak with love to yourself? This is the most important thing. So oftentimes people are thinking of, oh, why didn't I do that? Or I just can't do this. And rather than saying, well, I can do this, this is what I'd really like to encourage you to think about, because it makes a huge difference. I also, you know that in terms of Gita or Vedas, it's very much a favorite book, of course, for me, which if you've seen my past videos, you kind of know this. But again, if we're looking at Gita style, we're thinking also about faith. And right now we're moving into Easter time, and Easter is also a time of faith. And there's so many celebrations here in Bali. I know that there will be some that are celebrating Easter and many that do not. Yet there's so many festivities that always are geared to remind people about faith. So I thought I'd share this quotation because this also takes faith, doesn't it? I will say that if there's any doubt in your mind, you need to practice with a good heart that I'm really interested in seeing whether this works. Do it with that space, that mind and heart space, that, yeah, I think that this will really help me. And give it a try of speaking to yourself and being mindful about the words that you're speaking. Now, whether you're thinking that, oh, I can't do this, or you're thinking about, oh, they won't do this, it doesn't matter. You could be worried about family, and you might be thinking that, well, I'm not speaking about it to anyone. That background energy is a low vibration energy, and it's leaning more towards the less positive than positive. And if you are mindful of this, you will know that whether your health is 100% and you are the type of person who really cares about people, and because you care about people, you worry about them regularly, you're not helping. You're not helping yourself, and you're not helping them. And for that, I would encourage that you look at my Shakti Power series too. But for today, I would really like you to know that this makes a difference. Whether you're thinking this way about yourself, about your current life experience, about another person, all of that energy goes through you, affects your cells, affects your mental health, affects your physical health too. And this makes an effect on whichever surrounding you're in. It could affect the energy of your own home, which is then also going to feed your energy regularly. It's going to affect the energy of your workplace. It will feed your energy constantly. The exact same energy is coming back to you. You could think of this as karma, but recognize that when you become aware of it, you have the power to change it. So this quotation I thought was so wonderful to explain or comment on faith. And it says, faith is daring the soul to go farther than it can see. Faith is daring the soul to go farther than it can see. Now, this is by William Newton Clarke. And it's interesting because when I say this, remember, I talk about the soul a fair amount, and there is the collective soul energy, but there's our individual soul energy. And our individual soul energy is only limited by the equipments that it's coming through. So if my eyes can't see my result, my soul can't see it either. My soul, being part of that collective energy, already has some awareness. And this is why things like meditation are so useful, because we can align with something outside of us. But this soul is with us regularly, daily. This soul that we call our soul is with us. It's in our heart, and it feels our emotions. It feels how we feel. It feels the emotions and energies that are regulated by our thoughts. And our thoughts, we have some control over. So today I'd love for you to take some control over your thoughts and know that it's affecting your health and the health of the world around us. It is definitely affecting the people the closest to you. And again, this is just an energy that keeps on moving, keeps on moving. So it affects everything in our world, in our universe. And if you know anything about energy work, you would know that this is possible. And I certainly am very aware that this is possible. I hope that you will use this power carefully and wisely and lovingly and compassionately for yourself first and then for the world around us. And then I thought I'd end with this quotation because it's so me. This is actually a quote by Eckhart Tolle. And he says, "Every thought pretends it matters so much. It wants to draw your attention in completely. Here is a new spiritual practice for you. Don't take your thoughts too seriously." Now you would think that I'm saying something exactly opposite to what I just said, where I said, pay attention to your thoughts. It's the seriousness of it, because we do have hundreds of thoughts, thousands of thoughts that go through our minds every day. And if we're aware that many of those thoughts are not very useful and not very handy and not really necessary, we can laugh about it, that this is the mind and this is what we've trained it, that you'll go ahead and think about anything. And unless we actually learn how to be a little bit more selective with our thoughts, be more selective, we can actually laugh at the ones that are just silly and nonsense and just let them filter out exactly as someone would do during a meditation, because our life is a living meditation if we choose it to be. And when we're doing that, we can actually enjoy this process, enjoy this life, and enjoy the thoughts that come up, laugh at the things that are silly and enjoy the things that are really meaningful, and know that you have this power. I wish this for us all today and always. I wish you a fabulous day ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.